Hi, World American YouTube. Decided to, change the scenery. The wireless signal in my house is better in the kitchen today, so making my video in here. Giving a little irritation. I'm a little irritated. My contacts giving me a little bit of irritation. I just like to say this. Closing remarks. All of my points have been made, and anyone who has, any common sense, knows that what I have to say is the truth, and it will ring true in their ears. Unlike you guys, because you can tell by the views you have that nobody watches your videos. Basically except for me, yourselves, and the other Hebrew Israelites. I'm taking it to Jake is about, I think it's 6 months old, maybe 6 months, maybe 6 months old, and it only has 400 and something odd views. I'm not looking at it right now, but that's you and all the people that support you or that think like you going back and watching them, and of course people like me who are coming against what you have to say. But basically what I like to say is that you guys are really, honestly and truly, you're playing with fire. And this isn't just to ManUpJacob. This is to the entire Hebrew Israelite nation, and I'm using nation very loosely. You all are playing with fire. You all are coming against God. In just a brief lesson, because you all know Hebrew and you all know Greek, and I don't. But since you know Hebrew and you know Greek, you would be able to pronounce the name of God and the name of His Son correctly, and you wouldn't use a phonetic English pronunciation of God's name or of God's Son's name. Jesus, did you say you don't say Jesus because it's a Greek translation, and it shouldn't be used in reference to Him. Yahweh Shah is a phonetic English pronunciation of His Hebrew name. So by your own logic, you shouldn't use that either. And if you want to pronounce His name correctly, it's pronounced Yeshua. Just a side note, you guys can take that or reject it at your leisure. And the same goes for God. His name is pronounced Yahweh. And that's basically what this video is about. God, Elohim, El Shaddai, Jehovah Jireh, Jehovah Rapha, the all-seeing, the all-knowing, the omniscient God, the all-powerful God, Yahweh. And all those names are, because when His voice spoke out of the burning bush to Moses, and Moses says, "Who shall I say sent me?" He gave Moses an eternal account of who He was. He said, "Tell them I am who I am," or I am that I am. Meaning that He's eternal. He is nothing pre-exists God, and nothing supersedes His power or His authority. And this is what I want to and as far as His name Yahweh is concerned, it is the very essence. And I said it with a great deal of conviction. It is the very essence of who He is. He is Yahweh, and I know this was in another video, but I feel the need, a very strong need to say it again. He is Yahweh. He is the Yahwistic God. He is the covenant-keeping God. In the Bible it says He upholds all things by the word of His power. It doesn't say by the power of His word. It says by the word of His power. In the Bible it teaches us that God watches over His word to perform it. God, His speaking is the very essence of who He is. Everything you see before you, everything we as people deem tangible, touchable, tasteful, anything that has a taste, anything that we can experience with our senses in this realm of existence is a direct product of the utterances of the mouth of God. He didn't touch anything. The only thing God touched in creation was us, His most prized creation. Nowhere in creation, during the process of creation do you see God putting His hands on anything except for man. It says he spoke and came forth. He spoke and this came forth. He spoke and this came forth. But when he got ready to make us, he used his hands. He formed us out of the dust of the ground. And he took the woman out of the man. And he pulled the family out of the woman. And he pulled society out of the family. And for you to sit here, and for you to sit here and to go on these corners and spit these heresies and to say that his word is a lie, to manipulate his word, to pervert it, and to pervert it for your own selfish and misguided purposes. It's for you to come. It's for you to bring an affront to the very nature of God, the very essence of who He is. God is His Word. In John it says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and the same was in the beginning with God. And you know what? And you know, just a side note, I don't care. You know that you guys call me a homosexual, or you write, or did you call me a homosexual, or you write these things into the comments, these idiotic phrases into the comments. I don't see, like I said in a lot of other videos, I don't see how you can be uplifting the black community. I've never been called a Sambo or anything, or such a negative racial name by anybody of any race, except for a black person, and the black people are you, and your counterparts and your constituents. It's really sad. In the same way, it's really sad, you know, but on top of all that, if I'm going to allow myself to become insulted, or if I'm going to allow my manhood to be insulted, it isn't going to be by someone like you, people who obviously had long stays in prison and, you know, have probably had to defend yourselves from Big Bubba or whoever or whoever your cellmate was. You know, who cares? You know, basically, without you know, and all that is basically besides the point of the video. And to be honest, it has no place. And to be honest and truthfully, it really has no place being in here. I've said it already. I'm not going to start over, but you know, because the word of God rings true in the ears of the people. You notice that when you're out talking, the only people that stop and listen to you are the people who actually have questions and want to come against what you're saying. It's really sad. I don't know who found it, the Black Hebrew Israelite sect, but it's obvious that this form of racial supremacy that is based on a victimhood theology, because if anybody has watched any of the tapes or or any of the Black Hebrew Israelites, all of these people are ex-convicts. These are men who have had extensive stays in jail, and this religion, and I'm using the word religion very, very, very loosely. A more accurate term would be this cultist movement was presented to them in an area and in a point in their life where they had no hope. And you know, and if you watch the video response, the guy in the middle attributes the guy's inability to read, who's sitting on his right, to his